prepare the audience for me getting stuck.
Yeah. Yul Brenner, who did over 1,000 Anna and the King, every time he would, before a performance, he'd go backstage and press up against the wall, like isometric exercise. And so I would do that sitting in a chair. There were times when I was being called up to speak, and I was afraid I was going to become ill because I was that nervous. But I would do the isometric exercises with my hands and just do it as tight as I could. No one could tell I was doing it, and it does release because you're taking all the tension, letting it all go.
It works, Gail. Joseph McClendon recommends the same thing. The problem is if you're late, you arrive 5 minutes, you have to get dressed, the cameras are rolling, your slot is coming,
Oh,
and
I thought about that.
there's no time to calm yourself down. It was a bad
Yeah.
situation. And I'm happy that the video turned out that well. I actually have the original video and I will cut it together nicer. I've started to do that. It will be an even better, and I can cut it in pieces and make it
Yes.
several videos because the content is
Yes.
really good. I wanted to say, by the way, with something totally different. I had a nice script that I learned by heart. It had a better flow, but hey, I forgot my words, so I said whatever. And it
Yeah. It flowed beginning to end.
Corey said to me, nobody will know this. And since I did a TEDx talk before that was taped and another BLU talk before that was taped, I said, yeah, it's time to get on stage and get used to it. Sharon, did you ever get stuck on stage?
Oh yeah. 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 I I think it was my first interview on what I was doing in like for my career. And I walked in and I felt that the job was absolutely 100% mine. I felt like I fit it so well that I was interviewed by four people, and I was in the interview and I couldn't even think straight. Then something came over me and I was like, okay, can we start over? This is my name. This is where I'm from. This is why I'm good for the job. Because I was getting stuck on the questions.
Yeah.
It's like, don't ask me who I am. Let me tell you who I am. Let me show you who I am. And that's what I did. And then a week later, I got the notification that I got the job, and they said, "Oh, we seen past the nervousness."
Uh-huh.
So that was profound. But there's many times that I would get up and kind of be stuck. If it's on my own accord and it's something that I'm channeling, I have no problems. But I don't give me anything to memorize because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like anything that comes to me, it
The
just
memory, if I have to memorize, that's what one I'm going to draw a blank.
yep,
I
yep.
find it very interesting. English is my second language. In German, I used to memorize everything I wanted to say. I had no problem. I just told the story, I told the speech, I had no issues. I came to England, to Canada. Suddenly everything is in English. I thought, well, I can memorize really well. Ah, not in English.
Yeah. Is that interesting?
English is not well. You take it. We're language is not near what that language will say that our souls speak.
And
You know,
also that a mother tongue, the first language that you learn in a life, is stored in a different area of the brain than any language that you learn after age 6.
amazing.
When I learned that later, I thought, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
I can tell you
Yeah,
the funniest thing that ever happened to me in a speaking situation. It was a 3-day conference of the 100 brightest kids in New Jersey. It was being held at Princeton. And I got there the night before and I had my blue suit and my blue shoes, and I forgot my pantyhose. So I went to the little drugstore in the hotel and they had either tiny or humongous. I bought humongous, obviously. So I'm standing there talking, and I could feel a little discomfort. But then the room was huge. And I'm walking from one side to the other side. And all of a sudden, I can feel the slipping, slipping, slipping. I'm on the opposite side of the podium, from the opposite side of the room. And I knew one step and they were going down to my ankles. So I put my knees together and very slowly duck walked over to the podium. But to get behind the podium, I had to unlock my knees and down they went. I never left the podium for the whole speech. And I tried when they were working on a project to surreptitiously, with my shoes off, undo them and then stuff them on the podium. That
How
was
old
the
were
most
you,
embarrassing.
Gail? That's a funny story. How old were you when that happened? How old were you when that happened?
Uh, I guess it was let me see. I probably was in my 40s at that time.
Oh my God. I will cut that out and put it on Facebook. Now, what was the worst failure yet you ever experienced, and how did you heal from that? Because we are in the healing haven, because we have all terrible situations, a failure, something that went very, very wrong. And then after a while, we healed from it. And I thought, well, maybe that would be a good topic to share with others, because so many people actually have issues with that.
That's interesting, and probably I would say trying to market my books because to schools, which is impossible to get in because each school district has their own rules. I would say that's the thing I can think of most. But I think you're looking more for a one-time thing
Yeah,
that
no, something that made you feel really disappointed and frustrated and upset and sad. And how did you hear from that upset and sadness? Because yeah, for you it came over a while, but the sadness and the frustration is still there. And because I know you and I know your books are really good, so I understand it. But that happens to a lot of books, right? But what what makes you feel okay with that? What puts you back at peace?
another avenue, as long as I can see another avenue. And that's what I'm pursuing now, just taking it to a different, where I'm giving away everything, but for a membership.
Okay.
And as long as you're a member, you have access to all 12 courses.
So, what advice would you give somebody else that tries something and it's a flop?
I think you have to kind of stay with your comfort level. And there are people say, oh, you have to step outside your comfort level. If you do that long enough, then you get to resent it. So I have to do what feels right. And I know that I can work one on one with people and as far as helping them master what they have to in order to teach these programs. Everything is done for them, but it's again marketing. I'm back to the marketing thing, and I'm going to be doing much more of what you're doing with the YouTube.
Cool. So, Sharon, what is your input in that?
I like the idea of it being comfortable. I think when you choose to do something, doesn't make, asks the question, like any decision. For example, if I go to eat something and I know it's going to be bad for me, just stop and think about it. How am I going to feel 30 minutes from now?
Hmm.
So in order to create my reality, it's like, how am I going to feel when I do such and such? How will it feel to be a life, health, and wellness coach? How will it feel to learn, the havening technique and be a practitioner? So I think at the core of every person, we want to belong, and two, we want to add value or to, help others. So I think that's the essence of who we are. And then when we can challenge ourselves to step in and expand our comfort zone, not just to be comfortable, but expand it. And if it excites you, because today I walked into something and I was like, okay, I'm trying something new. And it took me the whole day to open up the box to look at the products to see how I'm going to use it. And it took me it took me a long time today to work up the courage to feel like, okay, it's like, but I'm kind of like, I like doing things. I like trying different things. I'll try it on. If I don't like it, If it flows for me, great. So I like it when it makes me feel good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a universality in that, I believe, that I think that's a commonality. We all want to feel good. We all want to make a difference in some way.
Yeah.
Yet we question ourselves. But it is, as long as you have that awareness, how can we get other people to have that awareness where there's
That,
acceptance,
that's,
inclusion, validation?
Right.
Gail, it's an interesting question. Is that women specific? For me, it's not really about comfort. Comfort is a concept that I don't embrace.
Hmm.
For me, when I want to go ahead and I have a goal that I want to achieve, it means if I stay in my comfort zone, I like the concept of expanding the comfort zone. I think
Yes.
that's a great idea. So if I don't expand the comfort zone by stepping out of the current comfort zone a little bit, which is scary, and then doing it anyway, and that expands the comfort zone. And over time, I feel comfortable with things that are extremely scary, like giving that speech and getting stuck in front of cameras.
Hmm. Getting comfortable in the uncomfortable,
Yeah,
in
Mhm.
the
for me,
unknown.
it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but to be honest, if that happens again, I don't care anymore. In front of the
I think
camera,
though what you said,
get stuck and it doesn't bother me anymore. So it expanded the comfort zone. And
Hmm.
that's a question. Is comfort something that is worth striving for?
but I think how we define comfort. I like a challenge. For me, a challenge is in my comfort zone. But I'm not going to. I could never do what you're doing with all this AI. That's beyond my capability. It's beyond.
I
Uh,
disagree so much, Gail.
uh, you have
That's
done
the mental block you have. AI is easy. Just
to
stick
you.
around.
To you it is, but going back earlier, you said, is it just women? uh the older I get and the more people I know, when I look back on, everybody has they question themselves. Nobody except Trump. Every normal human being questions themselves and wonders what, uh as long as they're mentally
You know,
okay.
regarding a certain politician, and I won't name names, I think you're right. Everybody questions themselves and says, "Am I doing the right thing?" Including the certain politician whose name I won't mention, but I know what you mean. I think some people chose not to express that feeling,
Hmm.
to put to the outside a facade of I'm the big guy, I'm the strong guy, I'm invulnerable, I know where to go, I can show you the direction. And as a leader, as a boss, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's a difficult decision sometimes. And I see that
Hmm.
myself when I deal with my team. Do I give direction as a leader and tell them where to go? Or do I show my doubts that I certainly have? Will that work? Am I doing the right thing? Am I throwing my money out of the garbage? What will happen if nobody joins? Those questions, of course, are in everybody's mind. The question is,
I think it's a big difference though when you have the interest in it. And you know, if it weren't for your platform, Christine, and something that you're interested in, it is going to be easier if you're interested in learning it. You know, I had a conversation with a high school principal, and she said, "I can't wait for my kids to get out of school." She said because they're being taught stuff that they're not interested in. So then they get diagnosed with ADHD because their attention is everywhere else. Then you know what I mean? So
good point.
if we were raised um, you know, to explore our gifts and have those opportunities to try different things instead of saying, no, this is one way. You have to go to school, you have to get an education, you have to get a job, you have to work so many years, you know, you build a house, you get married, you have children, you retire, and you know, no, no. Other people have different interests, they have different venues, avenues, and opportunities, and you know what? Be a drifter. Be a drifter. Explore it. See where it takes you, you know? Um, but it's not always clear cut for some people. And I
Sometimes
really
it
feel
goes back to childhood too. When you're told, remember in eighth grade, Mr. Stricker, my math teacher, I went in for help and he said, "You're not capable of learning math." Well, I loved Mr. Stricker. He told me that and I believed him. I avoided every math course in high school. I never took algebra, geometry, never took any of the biologies. And then I got to my senior year and I was a great stenographer. I had the fastest shorthand and typing, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go to college. And the dean of women said, "You're not capable of going to college." But
Oh
I
my God.
tested in on probation for a year and it ended up, and there was only one math course I had to take, a freshman math course, which I took in my senior year. And wouldn't he have looked stupid had he failed me because I had straight A's. I graduated with honor and I brag about that because I was told I couldn't do it. I was told I was incapable. I believed it. And maybe that carries over a little bit to some of the technology.
for sure.
Gail, that's such a good point. For all educator, never tell a student they are not capable to doing anything. Maybe to
Yes.
fly without help. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Humans.
I have the same mentality when it comes to medical diagnoses
Uh-huh.
or mental illness diagnoses. Like people, they identify with it and then you end up believing it and becoming that when, it's most furthest thing from the truth.
And it was for me the same thing. Once I stopped believing my own psychiatrist and proved and set out on a journey to prove him wrong, I proved him wrong. And if he sees me now, he would crawl down to hell and say I was so wrong. Now he wouldn't do it because he's so self-righteous.
But
But
maybe he came into your life to show you so you can excel, right?
Maybe you wouldn't have been as motivated had you
Right.
not.
so
Done the same thing.
be stubborn. Oh no,
Yeah,
persistent. Sorry. It's good.
agreed. I think people come into your life like that to challenge you. And then you know what? You're like, nope, this doesn't resonate with my soul. My soul is guiding me to do that. So it's like get out of the ego, do what makes you feel like I try to operate from a space of love. So I ask, like in every situation now, like what would love say? What would love do? What would love feel? Right? Just responding from that heart space instead of the mind and saying, oh no, and I'm not saying what you said to him was wrong, just saying that I I've been in the presence of many people who said I was too this, too that, too sensitive. I am overanalyzed. You know what? Guess what? All of these things, they're my greatest gifts. Thank you.
Have
Thank
you
you
ever
for
heard
telling
of
me.
Mike Dooley?
No.
Mike Dooley, I get a note from him every day. It's free. Go to tut.com, sign up for it. I smile. Like, for example, if you only knew how many miracles you've already performed, Gail, nothing will ever overwhelm you again, frighten you, or seem impossible. You are smoking hot, the universe. He signs all of them from the universe. In the end, Gail, not that there really is an end. It's all going to be about how much you loved. Today counts too, the universe. I get them every morning. It's only one line. I smile every time. There's so it's a good positive mental thing.
Definitely.
That would be a good project of the Wellness Universe at some point to send that out to all members. I like that idea,
That
absolutely.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I get one, it comes through text.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can send it and
Oh, she froze up.
yeah,
I'll put the address in the
yeah, I would do there's an unlimited supply on text, and you can ask Chadi. Chadi will create you 365 wonderful inspirational messages around wellness, around the 5 dimensions, so that is no longer an issue. That's the thing. Content is no longer an issue.
Right. It's right at your fingertips.
Yeah. All the knowledge of the world is right free.
Yes.
If I really wanted inspirational message, I could tell Chadi or one of the chatbots in my AI universe, send me a message every day. Maybe I should do an app that does that. No problem.
But in the long run, it comes down to the human interaction. I've been working with this fellow Des McCabe. He had the largest training company in the UK. He's written 40 some books. He was part of the peace talks from the UK and Northern Ireland. He's a saint, and I love him. I meet with him every Wednesday, and his whole thing is, he said last week, he said, you know what, anybody can write a book now. You can just put a thing into chat, one prompt, and you've got a book or a course or anything you want there. But the one thing that will always matter is the interaction. I mean, just talking to the two of you tonight, it makes me feel good to know that you feel the same way about. It's almost like a validation of me listening to you, and that human element will always be there. So that the books might not be as important, but the human contact is.
I'm more about the human contact than I am about any book.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I've learned my biggest lessons through my children, my family, friends, and it was the interaction that really taught me the most. Yeah.
For me, the biggest lesson I learned by reading a book and then applying the content of the book to my life.
Love
Learning
that.
what works, what doesn't. For example, Dr. Phil's Relationship Rescue. Excellent book. He actually opened my eyes that to save a relationship, it takes only one person. You don't need both partners to collaborate. One partner can save a relationship if they want to.
What's the name of it again?
Dr. Phil, Relationship Rescue, Dr. Phil McGraw. It's a good book.
Okay.
Practical strategies. I applied them, and my husband is much nicer, although he didn't participate. So see, that's how I try it. I try it out in my husband has a little angry streak. He's a sweetheart, but he's a little irritable sometimes. So I have two choices. Either I change him, which of course is impossible. He has to change himself, or I get immune against little insults that he hurls without thinking because he loves me. I know that. And shoot back little insults that hurt just enough that he's over time changing. And I designed them so it happened, and it worked, you know. He has no idea. Well, if he knew, he would be angry, but that's okay.
It's not manipulation. You're applying how to communicate.
When you change the way you react to another human being, you change the way they behave towards you.
Absolutely. We teach people how we want to be treated.
But that's a basic principle. First, evaluate, is the relationship worth saving? Because if you have a husband that drinks and beats you up, I would say run. It's not worth.
Yes.
So that's the first step. And if you say, okay, he's a good guy, we just have those squabbles all the time and they hurt my feelings, that's time to work on it. And I found many psychologists, their strategies just don't work.
I go back to the good old Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Principle number 1, do not criticize, condemn, or complain. When I was teaching this, I had 3 college girls that had dorms, but they all had their own rooms, and they made big C's. And each time one of them violated, do not criticize, condemn, or complain, they got a C put on their door.
Wow. You know what? That struck me really deeply just then, because I have a habit of condemning people for what it is that they're eating, because if they don't eat healthy, that means they're going to get sick. And this is the way, that's the trauma in my mind. So yeah, I walked away from a conversation a couple days ago. I was like, you know what, if I was on the receiving end of that, I would think that I was being condemning. And I just was like, I owned up to it, and I said, you know what, sorry I said it like that.
You know, when you serve people in a restaurant, for example, and we all have done it at some point in our lives, and they order a big portion of French fries and then put butter on top and fat and scrunchions or whatever, and load themselves up with fat, and we know they're already overweight fat, have a red nose, and have hypercholesterool. And then they order a big bottle of wine and drench it down, and a little bit of things to it. Well, what can you say? Enjoy.
True.
It's their mind, it's their brain, it's their body. Yeah, we have to pay for it in a collaborative healthcare system, but that's to our politicians to tell them what to do. That's always the issue. How
Yeah,
much self-reliance can humans really have, and who doesn't have habits that hurt them?
true that.
And yeah, judgment is easy to do, and Dr. Amen talks about that a lot. And when I teach my kids, I tell them my teenagers in out school, we always talk about that, especially when it comes to drug addiction, because we see the people on the streets. They have the tents, they shoot their needles, they leave the needles run around. I think it's not right to judge them, but it is right to force them into treatment
Hmm.
for the sake of society.
Hmm.
It's the same when we have child molesters. I try not to judge them, as hard as it is. But I totally think they should be confined and kept away from society for life, not just for a few years and then released on good behavior. There's no good behavior for a child molester. Sorry.
No.
I
And
had a doctor one time, orthopedic guy, and this man was the nicest man in the world, maybe 40s, good looking, just everything about him I liked. And he's in jail for child molestation. It's like, whatever happens that his brain could go that astray.
now there's two aspects to that. Either it's true and it was not recognizable what kind of a person it is, and that is possible. Or somebody didn't like him and accused him falsely, and he's in jail as an innocent person, which has happened a lot of times in history too.
Hmm.
So I don't even judge them. I say, I don't know if it's true. It's the same when I see something on TV, they say so and so did that and that. I said, I don't know. I just see it on TV. I don't know what really happens. TV shows us things in a way that they want us to receive it. It's not the truth.
Hmm.
What is the truth?
What had an impact on me was after I retired and took early retirement, and then there was an ad in the paper to teach English to high school dropouts, 18 to 25. The roughest, toughest kids I ever met in my life. You know, the first night on the way out, this kid yelled, "Hey, guys, watch your effing language. It's my effing English teacher."
Nice.
And I smiled nicely and got in my car. First night, they told me how fast they could get my car to a chop shop. I didn't even know what a chop shop was. Working with these kids totally changed. They had stories. Everybody had a story that was unbelievable. And once I started taking them out in the hallway. In fact, if they had to go to the bathroom, I had to get a cop to escort them. They weren't allowed in the hallway, but I could take them out one-on-one during times, and I would do a case study and point out everything I saw about them that was really positive. One boy could write metaphorically. I can't write metaphorically. Uh, and then I told him what's holding him back. It was a comment. I said, "What don't you like about your life?" And I heard a very distinct white people. So we talked about that. And because I paid attention to him, the change in him was incredible. So then I started doing it for more and more kids, one on one, pointing out their strengths and one area to work on. It was amazing. I mean, to the point that that's how I developed a couple of the books that I wrote and tested them in inner city schools. Everybody wants to know they're special in some way. That's all. Just let me know that I'm worthwhile. I'm a worthwhile human being.
You know, it's interesting. I just saw a political joke on one of the platforms, and I won't name which side was named as what, but one side said to the other side, "How come you got so many ordinary people to vote for you this time?" And the other side replied, by by not calling them ordinary people, by not thinking about them as ordinary people, but as special, each in their kind. I think it's important, and you exemplified that with the kids. I had a guy on the podcast. I had a lot of guys on my podcast that had amazing histories. One of them that really impressed me was Ron Williams, the world's most famous natural bodybuilder, 7 times Mr. Natural Olympia. Chiseled body, very successful, rich person. He started off in a ghetto in Chicago, beaten up, drugs around him. As a kid, he stole with his friends. He learned to steal cars. He was in youth jail, but he didn't give up. He wanted to make something out of it, and the only thing he knew to do was to build his body up. Then he
Oh,
read
wow.
about it because that's what he could do in jail. So he built himself up and he read about it. He rehabilitated himself and he started to get better and better at it until he went on stage and showed off his body and his achievements. Now he's teaching. Well, I don't know if he's still teaching. He's a practicing Christian, a pastor too. And he's teaching, or he was teaching kids, Black kids, underprivileged kids, bodybuilding and life skills.
No, that's
I love
great.
it. You know, those people like you and Ron, and there's a lot of us, we need to empower them to do more and reach out more. And maybe I can contribute a little bit with the Wellness Universe to that.
I
Get you
think you're contributing a big bit with that because it hits so many people in so many different ways, so many opportunities.
It's just starting. You know, I have a tracking sheet now. Every day I hit about 10, 15 people and send them voice messages on Facebook, inviting them to the AI Wellness Universe, sending them to the landing page. Now let's see how it works. And Gary, my
Hmm.
partner in crime, he does the same, or he started to do the same. So that will be interesting because we are learning sales, but sales is only a good thing
Hmm.
when you sell something that's worth offering.
Hmm.
To have somebody that can make a big difference for other people, you have a moral obligation to
Hmm.
offer it to them and sell it to them.
I had Chinese food today, and that was my fortune cookie.
What?
Goods are only good when you share them.
Hmm,
Ah, very good.
Mm, yeah.
yeah, sharing. I mean, humans are social animals. We
Yeah.
need a community. There's two basic needs for humans that are hardwired in our brain. Anybody know what they are? Yeah, make it an interrogation.
Ah,
Oh,
two basic needs.
two
What?
basic needs that are hardwired in our brain. And why?
What's well, survival, I would assume, is one.
Yeah, no, survival is basic, too basic. Two other basic needs. For survival is wishy-washy, but distinct needs. How do humans actually survive? Two basic needs.
If you go to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you start with survival.
But how do we survive? What do we need to survive? What is two basic needs to
Well,
survive?
nutrition,
Yeah, okay. Say we have enough to eat and to drink. What do we need?
acceptance, and validation.
Very much basic, more basic.
Love,
Basic. Love, not even that. People survive without it.
touch.
Touch, yeah, to a certain extent.
And
Oh,
what is
safety, that's hardwired
Oh
in
my
our
God, yes,
amygdala.
safe.
yeah.
Safety. We are always striving to achieve a place of safety.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because 10,000 years ago, I always go back to the basics, all those books that have been written, I throw them out. Because all those books have been written by people that have been deep thinkers, and they're all good. They all say the same thing with different words. The more words, the more diluted the message get. And I say to everybody, get rid of all the books and start thinking for yourself and make your own book.
Hmm.
Gail, you have written books, write more. Write shorter books. I'm trying to write a really short book. There's very good short books. Now, number one is safety, because 10,000 years ago, if you were lost in the woods, what would happen?
An animal would get you.
You would die. There's your survival. Number one, safety. Number two, the community. Yes. Why?
Sense of belonging.
Yeah, not because of that. It's a basic survival thing. Because 10,000 years ago, if we did not belong to a tribe, but we were, say, the tribe didn't want us and they sent us away, what happened?
Yeah, once you're out on your own, you're going to die.
Exactly. In ancient Greece, exile was a worse punishment than death.
Wow.
Denzel Washington wrote a book, A Hand to Guide Me, a number of years ago. He interviewed over 60 celebrities, including generals and Oprah and Muhammad Ali and all these famous people. And the point is, A Hand to Guide Me was that someone took an interest in them and guided them. For Denzel, his mother was a hairdresser in her basement, and the father was an itinerant preacher traveling all over. He had nothing to do after school. So the gangs where he was raised was a big thing. And my work has been primarily to keep kids out of gangs. Uh, he started going to a gym, and there was one man there who took him under his wing, and he attributes his success to that interaction at that gym. And every general, every person he interviewed had somebody in their life that took an interest and made them feel special, and they attribute their success to that. And
Wow.
that not could the person could have been anybody. It was that the acceptance that they gave them.
Mhm.
Leadership. Yeah. Now, Gail, can I challenge you a little bit?
Yes.
You told a wonderful story about Denzel Washington. What does this story mean to you and for your life?
It for me, what I've taken it on to mean is to put his message out there, for so teachers can make kids feel special. To one of the courses, I have 19 pages of testimonials from kids who were never accepted, who were nobody. So that's the way I take it, is to be able to pass on that message.
All right. And what does this message mean for Gail as a person, for herself?
To seek out people like this group.
I always found that many people like to talk about others more than about themselves. Isn't it interesting?
Mhm.
And
But
you
how
know,
would you?
Gail, I
But how would you?
know, I know you and what a wonderful person you are. And you don't need a Denzel Washington to raise others up. Your message is more powerful because you are right there. It's your energy, your spirit, your sparkle that actually does it.
Mhm.
Denzel's stories, in my opinion, is just a tool
Mm. Oh, well, thank you.
because it's humans, it's us and our personal growth that helps others to do the same. We are the mentors, right? Hopefully. Hopefully, we are good role models to the younger generation and to others. Not all of us are. I'm not always a good role model myself, but I strive to be. And I try to take stories from other people, like you mentioned, and that's a wonderful. Denzel is a great person. There's other people like him. I like Joseph McClendon, great story from Rags to Riches. Many famous people have the Rags to Riches story, famous story.
Mhm.
And I try to embody it in myself and become a person that lifts others up.
Mhm.
And I know you do that too. I just want to encourage you to be the person, not just quote other people. You're a great person. Step in your greatness.
Thank you.
Ah, can you say that? I'm Gail. I'm great.
Mhm.
See? That's that little spinning wheel in the head. I'm not good enough. I need other people to affirm my value. You don't.
True that.
I've known you for a while, Gail, and I really admire you.
Well, thank you.
So how did you guys meet?
Rob
We're
Quiet.
coaching.
What?
through a coaching program.
We both
Oh,
took the accountability coaching program from Rob Goyette. And by the way, we should teach that on the Wellness Universe. Absolutely. It's a good program. We can teach it. You can help me with that, Gail, because you're amazing. You're a great teacher.
And he's coming out more with the laser training, just again making that contact with
Again,
people.
the laser training again. I had his laser email, his laser thing. That's Rob's
Yes,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah. I like Rob. He's a great guy.
yeah, I do too. He's a
Marketers,
little bit different from the norm, from the even pagan or Christian Michelson, or he's a little bit. He walks his own talk.
yeah.
I like him. I like him.
Now, I try to be a middle ground between Rob, Christian Michelson, Eben Pagan, and Daniel Amen, but I'm a woman.
Yes, yes.
And I absolutely resent that all the famous people in the coaching space are men. I'm not misogynistic. I don't hate men, or androgynistic, I suppose, or whatever that is. It's a wrong word. But I think we need a strong woman up stuff. And yeah, there's lots of nice woman coaches, and but they're so hard marketers. And
Yes,
now when I met Rob at the marketing course, yeah, he needs to make money, sure, but he's not as miserable as others that I met there.
oh, do you went to a coaching
Came to the
conference?
marketing course, and I met many of the famous marketers like Rob Goyette and others there. And I realized that I had no idea what marketing really is, and I didn't know how ignorant all those big marketers are to little people that are not six-figure people yet. They
mhm.
sell us the stuff, but they do not respect us. They don't even want to talk to people that don't make at least six figures. And alone coming on the marketer course did not keep them not from talking to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really a very interesting experience. In life, we need to make experiences. And even an experience that's unpleasant, like that marketer course. I hated every moment of it, not just because I got the first time seasick in my life, but I met so many ignorant people in one place. That's rare.
That's quite a statement.
So it was really interesting.
Mhm.
I didn't know how, I don't think Christian Mickelson was there. No, he wasn't, not at that course.
He's focusing more now on the mental. Uh, uh,
Did his energy healing thing? I do that.
yes,
And,
I did complain one time that because I had the grandkids here, and I couldn't watch it because it just kept dropping the f bomb, and it was just so inappropriate for when he's talking about peace and kindness and the f bomb.
your grandkids don't know the F-bomb?
I just don't want to expose them to the with grandma watching it.
It's time to grandma using them. They get it from all sides. You say fuck yourself. Yeah, fuck yourself. Okay, so what does it mean to you? I think
Uh,
it's important when kids come and bring those words to you that you talk with them about them. What does it mean? What do you think it
What's
means?
the meaning behind it? What's the intention behind it? It's just a word. It's just a sound.
Well, today it's just so commonplace. When I was little, I was about 8 years old, playing with my brother, and my mother was having a card game in the living room, and my brother threatened to tell on me. So I went running into the house. So I said, "Mom, Joey's going to tell you that I know what fuck means." Everybody, I mean, in those days, we're talking the 40s, they were shocked.
That's exactly it. Why is knowing all those why are certain words bad?
Right.
Thought about why are those words supposed to be bad?
It's
Yeah,
the
there are other words for certain private areas. In German, by the way, I learned the words when I was a dermatologist, because growing up, my parents, of course, didn't allow them either. And I had to be in circles where that was taboo. But of course, being in dermatology, you meet prostitutes and they use the words. So you learn. What is a cunt? Oh, what is that? Okay. That's what it is. Thank you. Oh, that's why you have your earrings? Okay, why did you do that? Oh, it makes sex more pleasurable. Fine, that sounds
Oh,
good. Oh, your partner has a ring in his
oh.
English? Really? In front. Interesting. Doesn't it hurt when they put that in? I
Oh,
asked all the questions. I have no qualms.
No, it is what it is, right?
that is funny though.
Why are those bad words? It's just another way to explain everyday things like sex. Why do people not talk about sex?
Mhm.
Why is it such a taboo?
Right? It shouldn't be. We're
Well,
only here to
fortunately, it's
experience it.
less so than when we were little.
It's true, but we can change, right? Oh, Christmas is coming. Who's watching Alistair Sims' 1951, A
Oh,
Christmas
it's my favorite.
Carol?
It's my favorite movie.
What
Yes.
does it mean?
Oh.
For me, it's a very important story, not just a movie.
It's kindness.
No, more, much, much more, much, much more. I use it in my with my clients every day.
They hear the bell ring.
What happens in my Christmas Carol? What happens? Tell me the story.
Another angel.
No, that's not the first thing. Tell me the timeline. What happens? Who's the hero?
The banker who's the bad guy,
Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge. And
He's a
he's,
stingy old effer, right?
yes.
He's all about money.
Yeah.
He is rich and he does not want to share. So what happens to him?
Oh, I was thinking of the one, the other, what's the other one?
Oh, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. That's what
Yes.
we're talking about.
Okay. No, I was thinking of the other one where the guy was about ready to jump off the bridge because the money was missing.
Oh, that's a different one. Yeah. No.
Yes. Yeah.
Scrooge is my favorite Christmas story because it symbolifies certain process.
I think with his acceptance, he changed.
With this accept and what happened to him? He was a stingy man, so and he was a miserable bee, you could say, not to say the bad word. Now, what happened to him? Do you know the story?
I do, but it's been a long time. I've not watched it.
Need to watch it. My husband forces me to watch it every Christmas. So I learned to see it, and after 4 or 5 years, I grasped the story. It took me that long to get it. Why it is an important story. So it's not that easy to get. What happens to him? Do you know, Sharon?
He is
Well, he
visiting
had
What happens?
past, present, and future.
Yeah,
the
he's being
dreams, the
visited.
past.
It's
Yeah.
not, it's ghosts. And the ghosts could be translated in coaches. The first person to visit him is a ghost of the past.
Mm.
That's a coach that shows him how his past unfolded and what mistakes he made. And how does Scrooge feel? Terrible. He said, "Oh my God, I did that. I let that good lady go. Oh my God, I should never have done that. Oh my God, I was so happy there dancing with all the people." And what happens then? It's the time now. Well, it's all money. You're going around, and the people around you, they don't respect you. They don't like you. They just talk to you because you have a lot of money. And then comes the ghost of future, and he sees what would happen if he does not change. Typical coaching, right? That's what we do in coaching. We show
Mhm.
people the future in the enrollment call. If you don't work with me, if you don't change, here's where you're going. You are ending up in the mental hospital with medication. You're missing out on the good sides of your life and you are existing but not thriving.
Mhm.
And Scrooge heard it. He saw himself at the grave, and nobody was interested in him. And the ladies, they were fighting over his riches. That was all. Nobody liked him. And that's what made him change. And not after he resisted, what was a famous sentence that I hear my coaching clients always say: "I'm too old, I cannot change."
Yeah,
I
well,
hear that from everyone at some point. Everyone over 40. But I'm too old. I cannot change. It's too hard. It's true. And I say, what this Christmas, I say to my coaching client, watch A Christmas Carol, the original 1951 by Alice with Alastair Sims, and listen to Scrooge and what he's saying.
That's a good way to coach too. That is very good.
Coaching with stories, I do it all the time.
Yes.
No, it's good. It's a good movie. I love it.
And this Christmas, watch it again. I say that to everybody. Watch it and think about it. What made Scrooge change? And it's the same process that can help you to change and become a good person that enjoys life and is respected and liked by his fellow humans.
Mhm.
It's hard because we think the same as Scrooge. Oh, I'm too old. I cannot change. It's too hard. It's a great movie.
Accepting the love in so you can share it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
It's a soft way to expressing it. I like the fun way.
Mhm.
But you're wonderful too, Sharon. You're wonderful.
As are you.
You know, when I read books like Boundaries by Townsend, I don't study the content. I read the content to apply it to my life and that of my clients.
Yeah.
Everything else is futile. If a book just is enjoyment, like a 10 pence book, those $1 books, it's entertainment, like watching TV. It's futile. Why don't you just talk with good people?
Yeah. This is where ChatGPT is changing the whole landscape. I'm coaching a gal she's a psychologist, was initially wanted to write a book to just to enhance her position. She runs a whole agency, but then she decided she wanted to write a story about her 7-year-old. In fact, I told you about this, the granddaughter, and you came up with a picture which far exceeded Leonardo, far exceeded ChatGPT. I don't know. So I sent all of them to her. But anyhow, I put the prompt in, and within a second, I had an entire story, which was magnificent. But that's like, but she can't use that because she didn't write it.
Yes, she can. She can adapt it. It is legal to publish a book as your own that contains up to 80% AI content. For example, I just published that book, How to Be a Shining Star in the AI Universe. It took me a whole of 4 hours to write the book, format the book, publish the book on Amazon, and there it is.
I have one too. I wrote in the January first time I used AI for, and I thought I had a copy right here about how to implement the Irish people that I work with on Thursdays. He wrote a book called Mehil, which is a term for Irish farmers helping one another bring in their crop every fall. But it's about a little girl who works in the fields next to a castle. And the whole interaction is acceptance, validation, that type of thing. Right. So then I wrote a book on how other stories could be utilizing that same philosophy. In other words, any Little Red Riding Hood, any childhood story that everybody reads, how to enhance the meaning of that story for children. And I used chat for
no, ChatGPT is antiquated. You have access to the AI wellness universe. The chatbots inside there are way superior and don't cost a penny. I always tell my clients, you don't need your subscription for ChatGPT anymore. Use those apps in the AI wellness universe. They are unlimited chatbots.
What is ChatGPT? What is that?
ChatGPT is a language model like Claude and Gemini. It's computer learning. There's 3 steps to every technology process. And I listened to Alex Mayer from Deal.ai explaining it. Say the computers, when they came on in the 80s, you remember that. There were no computers before. Then somebody invented the computer concept after the cards were there, the 1-0. I am old enough to remember that. We had the big mainframes that filled whole spaces.
IBM. I worked for IBM at that time.
Yes. And then came about in the mid-80s, the personal computers. I had one of the first in Germany, was extremely expensive, a Commodore 664 with a floppy disk. Lasted for a year I wrote the program in COBOL with it. So that was the next development, the personal computer. Now then came the next invention, of course, the iPhone, the smartphone, right? Miniaturize it. And now the phones we have them even as watches. So with AI, the development was similar. We had first language models that were restricted to those big supercomputers that nobody could have. And then they spun off the next generation, like the personal computers, but you still didn't have a good surface to use it. Like when Windows came up, you had to program Q and C, colon, slash, slash, quit, or stuff like that. That's ChatGPT. It is you need prompting. You need to know how to prompt it to get a reasonable picture or something out of it. You have to learn prompting. People learn prompting. It's outdated already. The next step are AI apps. And you can, for a certain purpose, that do not require prompting or coding anymore. And that's Deal.ai. My AI wellness universe is Deal.ai, adapted for the wellness industry, for wellness entrepreneur and interested people in wellness. And you don't need to prompt to create those apps. You can use natural language. I talk to create the apps. I put language in the same as I would with 3-year-old. I say to the app, please create an app that creates an image of a 3-year-old riding a bike with a blue skirt, and the bike I want to be red. Button, push, boom. Picture's there and it looks good because
Wow.
the AI calculates the rest. You
How
don't
come your
post
picture was,
prompt
but how come your picture was so superior to Leonardo or Claude or Chat?
because Deal.ai is a highly sophisticated platform that I am fortunate to be able to spin off for a very low price that has advanced AI capabilities. Claude, Gemini are basic models. It's like trying to generate a whole program like a word processor without having the word application on your computer. Program it yourself. That's what you do in ChatGPT. You have to program everything yourself. Nobody does it anymore. It's so outdated. There's still people that teach it, make money with it. It's wasted money. Don't learn prompting. Go get the Deal.ai, get the AI Wellness Universe, and use natural language to do everything you need with AI. And there's more coming. I heard with Alex on Saturday, he's planning to put the newest AI application in it. Talking heads will come, teaching heads. Oh my God, it's exciting. You can
It is
create whole
exciting.
courses like in Synthesia. You had to pay a few $100s for it. Wow, I'll have that soon, a few weeks. And you
Mm-hmm.
too, Gail, you're in the AI wellness universe. Good for you.
And this is why I have changed my form of my intentions rather than selling my programs, because this one course, Discover Your Passion, which I wrote in the 80s and taught it in the 90s, wrote the book in 2000. I put that prompt in and had a course that was better than mine.
Gail, you know, I think that is so discouraging when you look at it that way. Because you say, oh, the language model do it better than me. It's not true. What they do, it's more structured and the language is more sophisticated. But what those modern language models will never be able to achieve is the human energy, the human connection, the
Right.
love. And that's why I encourage people that do courses, teach them inside the AI wellness universe as live events. That's what I'm planning. And have a connection with the community that is learning from you. And use that material that is provided by the chatbots to make a positive difference.
Mm-hmm.
The attention span of people is so much lower, they don't read books anymore, most people. Very few people actually have the attention span to read a whole page. I tried it. I tested it with landing pages. When you have too much copy, too much words on it, they don't read it anymore. Either they watch a video or they look at pictures. Fast. Comic books. That's the adults of today.
My son listens to everything. And it's like,
I did a very good
yeah,
podcast today with Google Notebook LM. They're talking about the AI wellness universe and about the great offers that we have. 20 minutes. Excellent. Google is
that was,
talking about us.
and it's not another person. It's AI responding to you, right?
Oh, it's two people.
That's incredible.
It's two people. And it's so easy to produce.
It's so neat, though. That is so
And I
neat.
stumbled across that. I said to myself, that's impossible. Really? 20 minutes talking about me, and all I had to put in is my website?
Wow.
So I'm teaching that inside the AI wellness universe because my attitude is AI is here to stay. It's a revolution, just like when the personal computer came here. And we have a choice as humans. We can
How
give
to use
up
it.
and cry and say, oh my God, I'm old, I cannot change. Scrooge, here I am. And give up and say, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll never be able to publish my book. That's one solution. It's not a good one because it makes you feel miserable, right? And I like what you said, Sharon, at the beginning. I've asked myself, how will I feel in half an hour or maybe even in 3 months? That's goal-oriented thinking, very positive, very helpful. And the other option is to say, okay, AI is here to stay. Either I wait and the wave of AI is drowning my business and me, and I disappear in oblivion, which happens to a lot, especially of older entrepreneurs. Right now, it happens. Or, you know what the riders of waves do in Biarritz, in Hawaii? What do the surfers do? They surf the waves. And that way they
Right.
don't get crushed from the waves.
Right.
Get to the shore faster than everybody else. Surf the wave of AI with the AI Wellness Universe.
Beautiful. On that note, ladies, I get to take off. I get to go get my little
Thank you so
girly.
much for being there. Remember when we were in a rain event years ago and I talked to Paul and I said, let's surf the wave. And he said, no, we're not interested in rain. Rain is disappearing in oblivion. I'm sorry to say that.
It's what?
Rain did not embrace AI when they
No.
had the opportunity, and they will be drowned by the wave. Sorry to say it's a good product.
Mm-hmm.
When I talked with Paul and he was not at all interested, he's too rich to even be interested in any improvements.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sad story.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it could be used for the good, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're doing a great job.
I'm doing the best I can, and that's what we all can do.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the purpose of life. And I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sharon, next time we have to have some healing. Mm.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
Take
A
care.
little leavening here, right?
Love you all. Bye bye.
Love you.
Bye
Good night.
bye.